Welcome, students. This is my future project overview, and I'm going to go through this with you guys. We'll go more in depth in this as we go on through the semester, but this is my one big project in economics that I like to give to the seniors because I think it's important for you guys to start getting an idea of where you want to go once you get out of high school. At least start thinking about it. So just going to give you a quick overview. Bottom line is I do have a website that I created, ladies and gentlemen, and it will have all the information you will need, and we will go through the site more as we go on, the navigation and all that fun stuff for you. I'll go through, has some helpful links, goes through the steps of the program that I'm going to show you here in the overview. And it's pretty straightforward, and I think it'll help you out. So that's my website. That's the link that is on your overview. I will also include this on your Google Classroom for your period, so you can take a look at this later, as well as this recording in case you happen to miss it because you were absent. The project is 10% of your grade, which I think once we get through this overview, you guys will go, wow, this is going to really help my grade. That's the goal of this, guys. I want this to be relevant to you, specifically, individually, to you and your future, where you want to be down the road. And make it even more fun is just go, well, this can actually really improve my grade if I do this right. So let's go through it. And I'm going to kind of show you why I do assign this project, why I created this project. And I did this by looking at other people's projects in the past, and I added some stuff to it that I think will kind of help you out, and some stuff that is new that our district that you need to do anyway for graduation. So this is why we do this. Very important. It's my favorite assignment I give. So here we go. So why should you be concerned with life after your senior year in high school? You're like, oh, I'm 18, I'm an adult. Here I go. Well, I'm just going to give you some data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And this is exactly what it says, you guys. It shows you what you can expect to make. Now, this is 2020. Things have been a little bit skewed because of COVID, but it does give you kind of a raw idea of what you're looking at. And when you look at this guy, this is going to be you right here with your high school diploma. This number today, I looked it up just last week. For your weekly salary. And this is at an age of 25, not when you just graduate from high school, but down the road, let's say that's all you do. You're into, hopefully, your career by 25. You can expect on this chart, it's 781. It's gonna be a little higher than that now because of inflation. But as you can see, all these numbers, you guys, that's really in comparison pretty low down here. The only one lower is if you're a high school dropout. So as you can see, as you start accumulating some kind of education, I'm not talking about just a 4-year or however long it takes you to maybe a college or university. Does it have to be that? Not necessarily. Maybe you have a passion and something that doesn't require you to take, math, English, science, something, a specialty you're really good in. Maybe it's a 2-year program, or maybe you're going to do an apprenticeship. But all of these, what it's trying to say is, each one of these levels of education that you're gaining, you're adding work to you. You're making yourself more of a scarce resource, as we say in economics. And that's where you start seeing these salaries. I always like to compare this to pro athletes. Why does LeBron James make $40 million a year? Well, how many people can do what LeBron James does? Not very many, right? So that's why they're a scarce resource. LeBron's scarce. Where he commands these top salaries. And that's exactly what happens as you move up the education tree. As you go up and up and up, your salary is going to go up. Okay, so that's the importance. The reason why I stress this, guys, is I've always had students, I've been at Rancho for 27 years. I see former students that have done really, really well. They've surpassed anything I've done. And it's awesome to see that. But I've also seen some students that they kind of hit their high water mark after graduation. That's it. And they're not doing so well, and they're stuck there. So the point being is once you get out of high school, the journey's just beginning. Okay, you're not done by a long shot. You want to keep on going. You want to develop whatever passions that you have, and so that your future is going to be very, very bright. Okay, so that is what you're looking at there. So we're going to go on to my next slide. Is we're going to look at this high school diploma. There you are. These are some real Rancho graduates. This young lady was actually in my class. And so I got some raw numbers. These were based on 2021 numbers. And once again, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which you'll use for a lot for this project. And what it shows you is, this is what you expect about 25 years old, your annual gross income, $43,000. Like, hey, that's a lot of money, right? Let's kind of break it down to see where this is all going here, you guys. You gotta remember, you don't get all that money. You gotta pay Uncle Sam. You gotta pay the state of California. The state of California has, if not the highest state tax rate, it's right up there. So you can expect, because there's the old saying, death and taxes. You're gonna pay taxes. So I put those in red. You're gonna have to pay that. What else you gotta pay? Oh, there's other taxes. You got Social Security, that's FICA, state insurance, workers' compensation, all that fun stuff. So you can throw that in there too, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's look at your net income would be right around $33,000. So yeah, you're going to be taking about 10 grand off your gross income, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what you're looking at for the year. You're still like, it's not bad, right? I can live on that. Let's break it down even more than that. Your monthly income is $2,784. You're like, wow, that's pretty good deal, right? Well, let's just do a little situation. Let's say you never leave the Moreno Valley area. Okay, we're going to keep it real. That's exactly what our motto is at Rancho. So let's see what it would be just if you wanted to live on your own. You're a young 25-year-old getting away from, the parents. Maybe the parents don't want you at home anymore either, right? So let's see what it would actually cost us to live in Moreno Valley. So I went ahead and looked some of this stuff up. And what we're looking at is just with your high school diploma, you're young 25, looking good. We bumped your salary up to $840 a week. That's what it broke down to with that $43,000 a year. And I went ahead and looked at apartments in Moreno Valley. There's a wide range, you guys. There's some, really, really nice apartments, and they're really expensive. There's some, probably not the best parts of Moreno Valley. They're not, but they said the average was 1907. I broke it down a little more than that. And it kind of gave you the breakdown of all the apartments in Moreno Valley. So the ones on the really cheaper end, there's not that many of them, you guys, 13%. So I kind of stuck it right here in the middle here at 50%, $1,501 to $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. Okay, we're talking, good, it's a decent apartment, one bedroom, 9 or 10 square feet, or tiny 2-bedroom. And remember, this is just you living by yourself. Okay. So let's just go ahead and say, hey, we'll just cut it out. And we're going to go ahead and say, we're going to go $1,600. Okay. So there's where we're at. And all right, let's see how it works out. So what do we got to live on? What is this the only thing we have to pay for per month? Well, let's take a look at it. So let's look at our necessities. We know we have to pay rent. Okay. We have our monthly income. Was $2,784. So let's look at our rent. We got $1,600. All right, there you go. Throw that right on top. I looked at the average used car payment. This is if you had a loan for just a $20,000 car, and is that a great car? No, pretty good one, right? Pretty good used, low mileage, maybe a Honda, a Toyota. Pretty decent car. With at your age, let's say if you're anywhere from, like I said, you're around 25. I'm saying your credit's pretty good. You're looking at probably about $380 a month. That's pretty reasonable what you're going to pay. But you got to remember, you got to have car insurance. Whenever you finance a car, you have to have full coverage. And I went on the low end here for you guys. That's actually probably cheaper than what would be in reality, but we'll keep it at that. And then we're going to look at our utilities. An apartment is the one good thing about apartment. Usually an apartment, you only have to pay for your electric bill. Sometimes you have to pay for gas. And even if you do pay for gas, it's usually pretty cheap. most of the time trash, sewer, all that stuff is paid for by the building itself. So I'm going to keep this really low. This is probably one thing I'll keep it on the low side for you guys, being nice. You know, in Moreno Valley in the summer, especially if you're at home, you live in an upstairs apartment, that air conditioner is going to be running and it's going to be expensive. So, but we'll keep it at 70. We'll say that's the average throughout the year. Gas for your car, if you guys have noticed, you know, for those of you that are driving right now and those paying for gas, it's getting really expensive, over, you know, over $4 a gallon. Even if you have an economy car like a, you know, Toyota, Honda, whatever, or maybe a hybrid, just on the conservative end, depending how far you work. Okay, hopefully you're working, you know, fairly close. But even $100, about 25 bucks a week. I'm being generous to you guys. We're saying you work real close, so say 100 bucks a week. I know I spend about probably, and I live in Moreno Valley. I spend about probably 20. With just my Honda, probably a little more than that. My Camaro, forget it. It's way more than that. So we're saying you have a pretty good car with as far as gas mileage goes. So we're just going to say these are your necessities. I try to keep as low as possible. Yeah, can you have a car? Maybe your parents gave you one, it's paid off, stuff like that. But we're just saying you're average person. This is reality. This is what it is. So here's what you guys got. You're at 2,084. That's just your bare necessities you have to pay for out of your monthly net income right here. So that gives you about $700. I like how these numbers work out. You got 700 bucks. That's your free money. That's what you get to play with. That's what you get for the entire month. And now we got to look at some of the stuff that we left out. Okay. So what did we leave out? Well, we even break it down more. That's $23.33 per day you guys have to spend. Now you pay for your gas and everything. Got a place to live. What else do you need to live? You know, you're thinking, well, you're at home. Well, you might, you know, what are you going to do with this? You might want to eat. That might help, right? Wow, I got to pay for food. Okay, 23 bucks. Yeah, I could live on that. Right? You could make them at 23 bucks for food. But we left out other stuff too. Clothing, and you might say, well, you know, I have clothes. I used to say I'll get clothes at Christmas, right? So yeah, I guess we could squeeze by that. But here's the biggie, especially for you guys, even myself learning this. I'm not a big phone guy, but my phone bill has been going up, and my data usage is bills going up. You guys are always on the phone. That is a biggie, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys know how much your phone bill costs, so you got to throw that in there too on that $23.33 a day. Okay, any kind of entertainment, especially being on the younger side. Hey, what are we talking about? I'm talking about entertainment, just basic cable. If you wanted to have that for your TV, or if you had some kind of a streaming service that you pay for, that all goes into entertainment. That all comes out of that $23.33, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to think about that. If you wanted to go on dates, you want to go to the movies, you want to do, you know, whatever, all coming out of your $23.33, and you're already paying for your food, your phone. And if you wanted to buy a new pair of shoes, your clothing, all that stuff, right? One thing a lot of people forget, because, you know, usually in most cases, you got mom doing the laundry or whatever, or you're doing it at home. But mom and dad take care of, you know, the detergent and all that stuff. You got a washer and dryer. And in some cases, you know, maybe you don't. But if you're one of those lucky people, you'll find this out, especially you go away to college, you got to start paying for laundry. Okay, that means you got to go to a laundromat. They take quarters, and it gets expensive. And you got to throw all that in. Now you got to buy the detergent, the fabric softener, all that stuff. Oh wow, you didn't think about that. There again, once again, it comes out of your $23.33. And then for your car, hey, cars don't run forever, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't take care of it, that thing's gonna break down. So you got to maintain it, making sure you get the oil changed. Maybe you can do it yourself. Something, you know. Still costs money for the materials, wear and tear, tires wear out, you name it. There's, you know, maybe something happens, and, you know, if you don't have a great warranty, you're gonna have to pay for it. And then think about it, your car, basically, for most of you guys, when you're 25, you gotta have a car. Not gonna work, especially in Southern California. And then we always forget about this stuff. What about all our household stuff? You know, simple things like toilet paper, soap, shampoo, guy razors, you know, whatnot, girls, you got all kinds of stuff you have to pay for. All this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is coming out of this 2333 a day, okay? And I'm sure I left out all kinds of stuff in here, and I know I have. I just wanted to make it kind of simple, just keep it real. These are just some stuff you're looking at this and you're like, I got to get all that with 2333 a day, okay? And that's what the average says now. Because some people make a lot more than we saw on the prior slide with the high school diploma. Yeah, I'm saying this is what the averages say. Okay, some people make less, believe it or not. So that's what you're looking at. That's kind of where you're at. If you don't have a plan for your future, where do you want to go? You kind of want to sit here and go, man, that's what I'm looking at. Maybe it'll go up a little bit each year. Wow. Okay, so that's why I assigned this project, is I want you to at least start thinking about where you want to go in the future. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have some steps to this project. Just give you a brief little outline. But all this stuff is on my website and will be on Google Classroom where you submit. We'll go through each step one by one in class, but like I said, this is just an overview to give you an idea how it works. So the very first step is you're going to kind of figure out, we'll talk about this prior to give it, before, you know, I give you the whole project by steps. I allow you guys, once I assign this, I give you all the way until that Friday before Thanksgiving. So I allow you to do the steps pretty much in any order you want. Hopefully you do it in the order I have it because it makes sense. It's a logical way to do it. You can submit them anytime you want. If you want to wait, you know, to the last minute, hey, that's your prerogative. If you want to get it done quicker, you can. This is the one assignment that I give you a beginning date, and then I give you that final date. After that, sorry, and I'll show you how it works on your grade. So the first step, though, once you kind of decided, and we'll go through before jumping ahead to the pathways, we'll do all this stuff before I actually give you the project. Is I always like to have you guys have kind of a focus on where you're going. So I call it my pathway, and we always have, you know, I always have a logo, and I like this. You get to do it for what you want to do, okay? And I like to put these up on my wall. They look cool. And if you make it look really, really good, I always give you extra credit on it. So this one step is this number one that I asked for, that I actually give you two assignments. I give you, this is part of your project, first step of your project, but it's also, I put it in there as logo in Aries for your grade. And I give you points for this because it goes on my wall. So it's actually, there's two assignments for this one, okay? So the examples are, I give you three pathways to choose from, and I'll go through that on our second step. First one is college. You're going to give me, let's say, hey, I want to go to Moreno Valley College. I want to go to University of California, Riverside. You're going to find their logo. Simple to do. You go on the internet, click image. You can draw it. Okay, I love the ones that are drawn. Some of you are really artistic, which is cool. Or if you would like, you can save the picture. You put it on a Google Doc. You can share it with me. You can save it on Word. Share it with me. What I like to do is I will have on my step. It has a couple things you'll do. You'll put, why do you want to go there? Why did you pick this school? If it's this case, in my case, I put down Western Governors University because that's where I'm getting my master's right now. Before that, it was Washburn University, where I went did my undergraduate work. I played football there. So I found this logo. This is what I would put. And then when I submitted on Google Classroom, I would put why I picked this actual university out of all of them. Okay. So there's a reason why I did that. Now we're not going to go into all that. You don't have to do that on this first step. You'll do it once you actually do the project. This is just kind of an overview. Some of you guys are leaning towards the military, and some of you might be going, well, one of the reasons I'm going to the military is because I'm going to use it for college. And that's exactly true. But let's focus on that very first step right after high school. Then once you're in the military, then you're going to start, you'll get stuff down. Then you can start like looking into, taking college courses, whatnot. But going into the military, you have to be deeply, deeply committed. It's not something where you just go, I'm just going to join the Marines. No. You better be committed because once you sign a contract, you are stuck, guys. So you better make darn sure that you're willing, you're ready, and this is what you want to do. Okay, so you want to really, really research it. So you pick out one of the logos. Like I said, you can draw it, you can print it out. I will print, or you can send it to me. I'll print it. I have about $100 worth of colored pens, pencils, you name it. Make it look as cool as you want. Put it up on my wall. Logo of your branch of the service. I've also had some students that are like, hey, Mr. Maggie, you know what? I'm going. I already got everything lined up. My dad, or I know somebody, blah, 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 relatives in a union. They're getting me in. This is what I like to do. And I'm not going to be going to college or the military. Okay, you can do that. My older brother was an elevator mechanic. He still had to take courses. There were still requirements to move up the ladder into his profession. And he made, believe me, he made a lot of money doing it too. It's a very good job, career, until he retired. But the bottom line is, guys, there's still requirements. So you got to think about that. You have, if you have something lined up, it's your passion. I had one student 2 years ago who's like, you know what, Mr. Manny, I'm starting my own business. That's awesome, guys. Better have a plan. Hopefully you have the money, the capital. We're going to go through that in this course of economics and how to get that going. But yeah, you could be an entrepreneur. You can throw that in here too. So there's 3 different ways. What I'm trying to do is focus on what you really want to do. What is the passion that you have? I've had some students tell me, people tell me that this is dumb. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, it's your passion. It's your life. It's your future. Okay. But you got to make it happen, and you need to start planning for it now. So step 1's kind of just to give you a tangible visual. This is what I'm planning on doing. Can this change down the road, you guys? Absolutely. But at least to get you thinking, maybe this is where I want to go. And the second step is the actual pathway. So you did your, we're looking at our logo. This one you actually picked out before. And what you're going to do here is when you see it on the website, there's some slides it'll take you to. It will actually give you these 3. And you're only picking one of these, you guys. So in my case, I would have picked a college, university. And it's going to ask you some questions. And what's really cool about it is I give you, on my website, I will give you links to where you can find all the information to the questions I asked you, like where's the school located? How much does it cost? What if I live on campus? Where is my degree? All that stuff you have, I have some links that will take you to that. So you pick on one of those. Okay. So all this will be put on my website. You guys will be able to see it. You'll click on step 2, self-explanatory. And then you will submit your information on Google Classroom. Step 3 will take you to career and information. You're going to do some research on what is going to be basically, what I really want you guys, this is why I'm getting into this, you guys. As I've been around for a long time, had a lot of experience, you have to think about, and I know this is hard for you at being a senior, but believe it or not, at some point, you're going to be 30 years, you're going to be, do I really want to have a job that I hate? Wake up every morning, Monday through Friday, go a job that I hate, that I'm stuck at for 30, 40, 50 years. And that's reality, guys. And I've had friends, when I was in my 30s and 40s, and just say, man, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. Can't go back. Yeah, yesterday's gone. You can't get it back. So you haven't had yesterday gone yet. That's why you're fortunate enough, you get to kind of look at, see where your future is at. Okay. So you really want to research what you think might be the curriculum. Maybe once you get done researching it, maybe you're like, maybe I don't want to do that. Okay. Better to find out now than be stuck in it, right? So that's what we're going to do. At one of the great websites is where I had that, the education and income little picture or image, is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Fantastic for giving you all the information. And we'll go through those sites together in class so you guys know how to navigate and get there. And those are also all on my website. So really, really cool. Some other links that I put on there that might help you out in deciding and say, where do I want to go? And that's where we get to step 4, is now we're looking at, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I have a career and I'm like, well, do I have to do this? No, you don't have to do that. You guys are anywhere from 16 to 18 years old. You get your whole life ahead of you. Start thinking about maybe some other options. Okay. Well, what if it doesn't work out? My whole thing was I wanted to be a teacher. My advisor in college said that I should go to law school. I didn't really want to be a lawyer, but that was an option. I was like, wow. I worked at Liberty Mutual Insurance in the summer as a typist. Okay. I was a transcriptionist great summer job while I was in college. They wanted me to be a claims adjuster. Okay? That was an option. Good career. Did I want to do that? No, I wanted to be a teacher. That's what I focused on, and I kept stuck with it. And that's what I ended up doing. So you do want to have some other options to think about. Okay. Like I said, life's experience. Sometimes what we thought we want, this can change, right? So keep your options open. Maybe there's something else you might want to look at. Step 5 is the biggie, and this is where you put it all together, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not going to make you guys write a 5-page paper. This is about just give you direction on where you want to go in your future. So when I'm looking at some specific stuff, the research you did, you're going to combine what you did in the prior steps in step 2, 3, 4. You're going to share that information, but you're going to put it in an essay form. And what I've done, you'll see in my website, is I give you examples of different topics that you might want to talk about in your 5 paragraphs. And I break it down by paragraph. This is what you could put in there. Do you have to use what I put? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. But I know some people get, you get stuck writing. You're like, wow, I don't know what to put. And this is kind of cool because you can look at that and it gives you some really good examples and go, oh, you know what, I could talk about, hey, I really like the school, maybe because I play sport, blah, blah, blah. You can talk about that. And pretty soon you're going to go, man, 5 paragraphs. That's pretty simple. Okay. So that's what we're looking at on that. And then step 6 is something that you guys are well familiar with. It's a graduation requirement that you guys have to complete your FAFSA. Your counselor is going to be all over you anyway. So what I try to do is just to get you to get your FAFSA ID. And it's very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is have your social security number. I did this with my class last year. I just wanted to see what it was like. And it would, I'll be honest with you guys. When I did this as an 18-year-old, we didn't have computers. Okay. It was all paperwork. Got dad's taxes. It was a long, drawn out process. In this case, I did it. I did the FAFSA ID. All I needed was my social security number. Boom, boom, boom. They asked a few questions, some security questions. We did it in class. For those had their number, we were ready to roll. It took about 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And they email you and say, yep, you're done. It shows you it's pending. That's all you got to do is I basically give you 5%. And then your counselors will work with you in actually doing the FAFSA requirement. I can tell you personally when I did it, and you can tell your parents that this is pretty easy. It was simple. When I did FAFSA, I just wanted to see if I was eligible for money. I found out I was eligible for a loan, believe it or not. And it literally took me 20 minutes to do it. And it's, in your case, for a lot of you guys, you're going to get some money from Uncle Sam and even the state, California, that's going to help you with your education. And like I say, in some cases, it doesn't have to be 4-year school. It could be a community college, could be a tech school. You're going to qualify for some money that you don't have to spend. And that's the important thing. Okay. So that's why Val Verde is making that a graduation requirement. So it's pretty simple, something you got to do anyway. I do give you a bonus. If you do take the SAT, and most of the time Rancho offers that. So I will encourage you. And I know this year we had a bunch of people take it. It's real simple for me, guys. I just check attendance. I don't check your score. Did you attend the SAT? Absolutely. Bingo. You get a 5% bonus right on top of your project grade. For you military people, you got to take the ASVAB anyway. You show me proof. You could forward me that you've taken it. Sometimes they put it on your transcript. Anything like that you give me, you show me. It doesn't have to be all 3 of these, any one of these 3, ladies and gentlemen, and you get a 5% bonus. Okay. So that's pretty good. Just do one. Then we have one last bonus I give you, and this is one I encourage you, guys, apply for as many scholarships as you can. And I'm telling you, thinking, well, I don't know what to do, and I don't have time. And I've heard this a million times, you guys. They are not that hard to apply for scholarships. And I have literally on my website, when it comes to scholarships under bonus, there are probably, I think at least 10 websites will give you hundreds of scholarships. You apply for some, a little more complicated. Some you may have to write an essay, but the great thing with the digital era is you get to save all this stuff, you guys. You can edit your stuff. It's all saved on Google, it's on your drive. You apply for them. I will tell you this, if any of them ask you to pay a fee, it's a scam, don't do it. So it's going to be anything you apply for is free. Hey, you never know. I did have one student take my advice a few years back. He was going to art school. He got 5 or 6 little scholarships in very, very expensive art school, but ended up working out to about $12,000 free money that he did not have to pay. My own niece got a scholarship. She's got her master's now. Her scholarship, believe it or not, you guys, she graduated from Cal State Fullerton. She didn't apply for scholarships like she should have her senior year, even though her uncle, me, told her to. She waited till after she graduated when she was going to grad school. Now she applied. She got a couple scholarships. One she got for being under 5 foot tall, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. She's only 4'10". So yeah, there's all kinds of different ones. It's all based on being a great student, not necessarily. Okay. So yeah, see what happens. Go ahead, take some time when you're watching TV, doing whatever. Maybe you can apply for a couple scholarships. Just show me you applied. Doesn't mean you got it. Just show me that you applied, and I will add that to your grade. Okay. And when you report out, basically, you guys, this is how this works. This is not a mandatory thing. You do not have to report out. I have some people who are like, hey, look, I want to share my, personal life, blah, 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 with the rest of my students. I'm not going to make you do that. But I will say this, I have never had a student not report out when doing this project over the last probably 5 years outside of COVID. And even in COVID, we did it during Zoom, okay? Because it's really simple, you guys. What this is a celebration of your work. Okay, this is a celebration of what you have done. Okay, and you get to share it. It's exciting. This is what, hey, this is what I'm going to do for the future. At least is what I think right now. At least I have somewhat of a plan. This is what's going on. I'm not just sitting here going, well, what am I going to be? What am I going to do next year at this time? I'm actually planning this out, and I make it very simple. And I will go through all this stuff with you, actually the day before. Okay. So I will go all through this stuff. It'll be simple for you to do. If you're one of those people that are nervous in front of people, believe me, I know what it's like. They're like, well, Mr. Matty, you're in front of class. Yeah, that's my job, you guys. If I had to speak in front of a bunch of strangers, it would be very, very tough. My classroom is pretty easy. That's because that's part of my job. And your total grade, here's how it works out. It is 10% of your grade. So what I do is I add up all the steps, all the percentages of all your steps that you completed. And I'm not going to give you guys a hard time. I will remind you of that due date. Whenever you submit a step, I check it every single day on Google Classroom. And I have a master copy, and I'll show you that on the very last slide, and how I actually record it. And then I post them on the wall, and you will see examples of that on my website. So every time you do a step, you're going to see your progress. Okay. And usually what I like to do is I will update it each week. Okay. Because I always give you guys, like I said, we start school in August. About the 3rd week is when I assign the project, so we can kind of go over it, show you where the websites are and all that good stuff. And then we get rolling, and then every month I will reprint it. So I'll show you what it actually looks like. Okay. So I'll give you an example of what your grade will be. So remember, if you do all these steps, guys, you can actually get 125% of 10% of your grade. And that makes a big difference. I've had students that maybe were at 73%. They got a C, that's good. But now they do the project, they do every single step. I add that in their grade, and now they're up to an 80%. They got a B- because of their project. And I do that on purpose, you guys, because I really feel strongly that this is going to actually give you some focus on where you're going to be, and it's going to help you in your future. So this is how I grade it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you an example. We're going to say this student right here is named Peter Griffin. I do not put the report out step on here because I record that. We do it all in one day because it's very, very short, very, very relaxed. That's why everybody chooses to report out. So we're going to take Peter Griffin, and let's say he does that first step logo because it is 2 assignments, 1 in Aries. But more importantly, it's your first step, and it does go on my wall. And he's got that done. Very good. He's got 10% of his project done. And all I do, you guys, is I just add them. And these are up on the cabinet door by period. He does step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. He's looking good. He does FAFSA because he knows he has to, right? So it's looking good right here, you guys. At this point, Peter is at 105% of his project. He hasn't even reported out yet, guys. Okay, now where he reports out, add on 10%. He's got 115%. He's done. He did not do the SAT for whatever reason, or ACT or ASVAB, and he didn't apply for scholarship, but he did do this. He's got 115%. So what I'm telling you, you guys, do you have to do all the steps? You do the steps you want to do, but the more you do, the better your grade. Okay. So now we're going to look at another student, and this is Elizabeth Lopez. And let's see what she's done. She decides she's going to do step 1. Most people always do step 1 because I keep harping on you guys to do it. Step 2, step 3, step 4, and she blows off the essay. She's like, I'm not doing it. Okay. She didn't do it. All right. She didn't do the FAFSA. She took the SAT. She signed up at Rancho. Okay. And basically what happened is she did 1 through 4 FAFSA and SAT. She chooses to not report out. She's just like, I'm just not going in front of class. Okay. She got 75%, you guys. That's what she's going to get. That's what's going to go in Aries. Third choice. The reason why I like doing it this way, you guys, hey, it's your future. Okay. This is your project. This is not a group project. This is all about you as an individual. And where are you going to be down the road? Okay, so that's why we do it. So we will go more over more of this stuff in class on each step before we go. I will help you out. That's how it works. That's your brief overview. I will put this on Google Classroom for you, and I will see you next time.